Alrighty, got my mic on. Alright, I forgot to move that back to the to-do list. How is everybody? We've got one person watching. I guess let's just get back to it. Picking up right where we left off. Let's see, this eye is brown. That is the wrong color. Let's see. And then I get the feeling that the lace and stuff should be the same color as the rest of the dress. One way or another, I'm only spending 15 more minutes on this one. Just because I spent a lot of time on the other ones this afternoon. Okay, here we go. Alrighty. One of these days I have got to figure out how to send myself the reference images from Instagram to a spot where I can use them. Because it's kind of frustrating not to have a reference right here for you guys to look at too. Alright, here we go. Let's see, what to talk about. How's everybody's evening going? Anybody got dinner or going to get dinner after this stream, or just, I think I'm probably gonna keep this piece in flat color. Maybe a gradient here and there to suggest shading. Like I said earlier today, I have a actual painting version of this that I was considering, but in the end I just couldn't because it was gonna take way too long to get everything just right. So yeah, I do think that I will limit this to flat color and maybe a couple of gradients. And that way I can move right on to the next ones on the list. I've gotten 3 more requests from my good friend Aqua Stormfall, and I won't be able to get to all of those tonight, but it's nice to have them. So I'm gonna take this light gray and just put that there. And then I'm probably gonna use this just to keep the color palette very limited, because I think a limited color palette with this is gonna be the best bet. There we go. Alright. Now I guess I will do some gradients. But first, I'm going to be very careful to pick exactly what I want to add the gradients to. After I get all this selected, I'll check the chat. Alright. What's going on? Hey guys! Nice to see you again. Alright. Let's take this, and then I want to add a little more life to the coloring. I guess technically this means that the color isn't flat, but like my point is there are spots where there should be a little more pink. And this is actually a bit on the dark side. Come to the dark side. We have blushies. Alright, so what I want to do now is really lower that opacity. And then maybe fade this out just a touch. That looks better. Alright. Layer. Don't want to expand that. Alright. Since this actually is a flat gray, I'm gonna go in and just add some touches of actual color to it. This is on the wrong layer, but I can always keep adding layers. Alright. Actually, no, I don't want that there. Let's see. Put that like that. And like that. Alright, now I'm going to take my watercolor brush and this, and then I'm going to go slightly yellow for the ends. Or you know what, I'm just going to airbrush the ends. That is way too light. That's not light enough. That, again, too light. Let's try this. That'll do. Now I'm going to take this and then watercolor it a little. That's better. Now I'm just going to lower the opacity on that and maybe make it an overlay. Or maybe not. Divide looks cool. I might actually keep that. And again, let's try multiply. That looks more realistic. Alright. Merge down. Time to do some work on the guy's skin and stuff. Reference canvas. Just need a very light airbrushing here and here. On a different layer, hopefully. And now, there we go. I'm sorry for my silence here. I'm just kind of trying to make sure that this looks good, because in 2 minutes I'm calling the piece done for now, whether it is or not. And if I have time left over, I'll come back to it. But if I don't have time left over, then that is that. Let's see, protect alpha. Make her hair look a little bit shinier. There we go. Alright, view, background color, something kind of very flat. I think would work best for this, for now. Then I will duplicate this layer, protect alpha, or better yet, multiply, and scoot it over like that. Filter, blur, cancel. I'm just going to go in here find my pen. There. Turn off my grid. Fill that. Filter. Gaussian blur. There we go. Can't really play around with it that much. That's okay. I've already spent more time on it than I said I would. So that's that for now. What's going on in the chat? Thank you guys. I'm glad you like how it's coming out. Next we have Ignatius the Iguana. I don't have any idea how to actually pronounce that name. If someone does know and can spell it out for me phonetically in the chat, that would be great. Let's see. Originally I was gonna just fill in shapes, but I think I'm going to do I think instead what I'm gonna do is turn my correction up some more, and I can probably get away with doing all the line art in one color if I use a blending mode. So that is exactly what I'm gonna do. And he's already off model. Actually, I can fix that because it's still early enough. There we go. That's not quite on model, but it's not as bad as it was. 3, 4, 5. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that this line art stays the way it's supposed. I'm trying to make sure the line art closes. Let's see. Let's see, this isn't quite the final line work. I will be adding more to it later. But for now, there we go. It's a little too... It's not quite right, but it's not bad for a first try. Let's see. There we go. And then I want this to go up, and actually that was the line that goes like that. There we go. And then we'll bring this down and like that. And round out the eyes. Now we'll pull this down like that, and this out like this. And his leg looks like that. And this goes like this. Alright, so then we pull this like that for his arm, I think. I only ever remember seeing like maybe 3 episodes of Crypto the Super Dog, so I'm not entirely sure anything about the characters. Something about this one says villain, or maybe at least anti-hero. But I mean, a good design should tell you what a character's like, and I think I've got an idea what this character might be like. The exception to that would be if the design is purposefully supposed to be misleading, which can be done to great effect by people who are better at this than I am. Let's see. You know what? If I'm off model anyway, I might as well commit to it. I was supposed to draw this character fat like he appeared in one specific episode, but I just really liked that reference image so much that I decided that that was what I wanted to draw. So that's what I'm drawing. Oh. Yeah, I'm so sorry about all the yawning and the sneezing and the usually it's not that much of a problem. Let me zoom out here. And let's put in this marking here. And this marking goes like this, and then like that, and boom, boom. There we go. That's not too bad. Fill this in. And then I'm feeling kind of a dark pink color, maybe darker than that, for the outline of his tongue, which is not forked like I originally sketched. Alrighty. So for his tongue, nostrils, and eyes. Alright, so now I can delete that, then I can color it in just using the canvas. Okay, evidently my line art is not closed somewhere. That's where it's not closed. Alright. This should work better. fill in this green color here and there. Then we go with the darker green on the spikes. That line art wasn't filled in or closed off. There we go, that and that. So now we fill that in like that. I did not close it off on the right layer, but whatever. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Alrighty, there we go. And now I'm just gonna, on the layer, expand 3. There we go. Now, if I set this to multiply, that shows up better and blends better. Hold on. This is really just to make sure that since the line art is supposed to blend with the colors, that it takes on more of their properties. Like that. So now we have our yellow that we need for the inside of the eyes. Take this, fill that in there. Then we're just going to need this lighter pinkish red. That looks better. Take this pink, fill in the tongue. There we go. Now to go up, and then I think just a standard black will do. Do the eyelash. Like that. And like that. And the eyebrows like this. And like this. Then I can go back, use the pinkish red again for the nostrils. Alright. And then zoom out. That looks alright. So I'll leave that like that until I get this done. This one is from DinoArt65. It's 2 of the OCs that I submitted for his project in one of the fashions of, or in the fashion of one of the worlds in Kingdom Hearts, and I decided to pick Deep Space from the Lilo and Stitch world. Just because it looked cool. Ignatius. Okay. That's... okay, Ignatius. Or Ignatius. That's better than how I was pronouncing it. So, anyway, originally I was just gonna draw Braxton here. In an outfit more or less based on the Grand Councilwoman's, because the Grand Councilwoman has one of my favorite designs for an alien that I've seen in a long time before or since Lilo and Stitch, and her outfit definitely plays a part of it. Like, I mean, it's classic, almost stereotypical for an alien design, but it also feels like something you haven't seen before, at least not exactly the same, which is pretty cool. It's nice when a design can do that. So of course now we've got Braxton here. I don't know, this is the second time I've drawn him, and both times that I've drawn him, all I can think of is he would make a pretty cool Red Ranger. And I don't know why, but I feel like he would make a pretty cool Red Power Ranger. Maybe that's just me being proud of this guy, but I happen to like his character. Not that he's had very much of a chance to be characterized. Like, 90% of his characterization is still just in my head. But, he will get characterization eventually, and then I will be able to gush over him more. But yeah, so suffice it to say, I thought that his design would work very well with the Grand Councilwoman's outfit. I did actually end up forgetting how tall I said he was. So for the purposes of this illustration, he's around 6'2". Jory, I wasn't originally going to add her, but I felt like the composition felt very empty, so I decided to add her. And in this illustration, she is 4'11.5 inches. That ½ inch is very important to her. But, I mean, this is pre-growth spurt for her. She has this weird growth spurt between the ages of 14 and about 20, where she goes from being 4'11.5" all the way up to 6'5". Needless to say, it begins with a significant amount of fatigue and just chronic eating. You'd think she has an eating disorder, but no, she doesn't. It's just her metabolism getting ready to make her grow so much. Let's see. Braxton is kind of a natural leader, so that's one of the reasons why I decided to base his outfit on the Grand Councilwoman's. I was hoping to also convey that sense of dignity. Because he does have a lot of dignity about him. Just kind of a... I don't know how well my illustrations are conveying that, but he has this air about him where he seems very dignified but also very approachable. And again, I don't know how well I'm conveying that. But I decided to add some extra emblems on their chests, just because the designs felt just a little empty to me without them. So, I feel like I can probably also put one of those emblems on the shoulder. So we've got Braxton. He's very plainly based on the Grand Councilwoman. And Jory, when we get to looking at her, is actually based on one of the pilots. I couldn't find much of a reference for an engineer. So I decided to make her a pilot, but with pockets. So, and then she's also holding some kind of wrench. But you can't really see that right now, because I'm drawing this thing on Braxton's waist, which is very much also based on part of the Grand Councilwoman's design. I'll pull up my reference. There we go. Might as well have it pulled up so that I can color pick from it. Oh, come on. There we go. And then if I zoom out, there we just go for the legs. And yeah, after this I should be able to start on the drawing of Trix for Aqua Stormfall. I'm not entirely sure I'll be able to finish it, but depending on how long this takes, I should at least be able to start on the sketching portion. I tried very hard to make sure that this design, while it is reminiscent of the Grand Councilwoman, isn't just an exact copy. So where she has that skirt thing, I've turned it into a cape. I may eventually add some gold bias tape around the bottom of it, but for now we'll just see where this leads. There we go. And now we've got Jory. She's honestly one of my favorite OCs. Depending on how their character arcs are handled, nothing's really set in stone regarding what they're going to do later in the story. I could kind of see these two ending up a couple. It would have to depend. But it doesn't have to happen, because Jory in most of my other universes has Mary Sue. So, Mary Sue is a fun character of mine. She has like random once-off superpowers, and the rules about them are that she gets exactly the superpower she needs to get out of any given situation, but she only gets it about 10 seconds before she needs it, and it has to be random and otherwise useless, and she only gets it once. So, I did name her Mary Sue because of the random superpowers thing, because one of the things that makes a character a Mary Sue is that they always get out of a situation because they're so awesome. So she does get out of situations because she's just overpowered, but I did want to put some twists on it. Like, I have a whole list of powers that I want to write her using, but I don't really want to talk about them. Pretty much her entire thing is based on this idea I had after watching one of Proko's videos about anatomy. You can actually see, I think you can see the gag in the Best of Skelly compilation, but if you can guess what her power was going to be based on that, I will probably applaud you, because it is a really random thing, but just the way it was said made me think, that would be a fun power. But I can't just give this character that power because people will mistake me for, because people will mistake it for being more of a male fantasy as opposed to, like, just something that would be cool. And that's probably the closest hint I can give you to it. So, if you can figure out the one power I was originally going to give Mary Sue, congrats. Let's see. Here's her hand holding the wrench. But, yeah, Jory is an engineer, and, what can I say? She's good at what she does. She likes to build things. Where Mary Sue has to use her wits to get out of situations quickly, and Jory is better at thinking of ways for them to not get into situations in the first place, and building improbable machines, but she has to have the time to actually build them. You know, she may be a genius, but even geniuses are still human. So, we've almost got this done. Here's her tool belt. Need to draw the clasp like this. I wasn't sure how to design the clasp because I couldn't see any real good examples of how clasps work in Lilo and Stitch, specifically on the alien ships and stuff. But, there we go. I have been watching a lot of The Twilight Zone lately, so, I think the episode I finished most recently was To Serve Man, and if you know the plot twist to that one, that actually explained one of the jokes in Madagascar that I didn't get at first. But it was really, But, I think I figured out the twist about halfway through the episode. It wasn't revealed until the very end, but I mean, if you watch enough Twilight Zone, you eventually get good at picking out the twists they usually go with. Which reminds me, I keep meaning to get into Black Mirror, but I haven't seen it yet. Stranger Things was really good. I don't know. Well, I know Aqua's recently gotten into it, which is cool. I can't wait for Stranger Things Season 3. There is a lot of geeking out I want to do. Thank goodness, his costume. I'm actually gonna lighten it up just... Okay, that might be a little too light. There we go. That's about the color I want. Okay, let's see. I can color pick again when it comes time to get Jory's stuff done. I just remembered, these are like the exact colors of my dad's favorite football team. In case you can't tell, he's a Steelers fan. I'm indifferent to most sports ball, but it's one of those things where it's like, huh, those are Pittsburgh Steelers colors. He needs blue for it though. Let's see. Now I can open my reference for Jory's costume here. Okay, her boots need to be a lighter gray than her pants. There we go. And then her emblems here are going to be the darker red. And then the same gold in the center. I'll just make her belt gold. Or you know what, her belt will be the same color as the wrench, so kind of grayish silver. And then I'll make the pocket thingies. I'll make those like probably red too. Alright, so I'm gonna need a silver color, preferably the bluish tint to it. Not like that, like that. That might be a little too saturated, hold on. There we go. Then I can go like this with a darker gray for the inside of things, like this. And let's see. Jory's eyes are always a bit of a light purple, and his I'm having in a nice dark violet, like that. And now I can open up my one other drawing of the both of them, which is in the to be continued one. Let's see, what time is it? Oh, 10 minutes left. We're not doing too bad. Let's see. There we go. And then we'll use this for the whites of his eyes. There we go. And then I still haven't decided whether this is Jory's natural hair color or not. Considering that in Dino's in the thing that Dino's writing, they're from a futuristic world. I don't see why it couldn't be, why they couldn't have the technology to make hair grow in unnatural colors. So that, no, it's not really her natural hair color, but it does just kind of grow like that because pseudoscience hand waving. So yeah, let's see. There we go. That should work alright. I forgot to color in his other hand. Alright, there we go. And yeah, I actually can start on drawing tricks. Let me check the chat and pull up some references. Yeah. Thanks for, yeah, thanks for, showing up. What's going on? Yeah, I can draw your dragon, OC. Let's, hold on. Sorry, I'm waiting for Google Images to load. Let's see. That's cool. Let's see. I did like Stranger Things Season 2. I don't know. I'm not sure whether I like it better than Season 1 or not. It's alright. But thanks for tuning in, everybody who's watching. I now have a reference for Trix, the Kwame from Miraculous Ladybug. So, let me open the reference here. There we go. Let's see. Can't actually finish this time, but let's see. She's got a really tiny paw like that, and then kind of a pear shape for the body, and she's got one paw sticking up like that, then another one going down, and I can make this smaller so I have room for her tail and ears. Let's see. That's roughly where her eyes go. And then her ear. Ear number 2. And then tail. Alright, that's roughly the proportions. Let me because I don't see why I shouldn't rotate it. So let's just That's one ear. My correction's still on really high. I'm gonna fix this sketch later. Let's see. Eyebrow, eyebrow, eye, eye, ear, and then we've got this little paw, like that. I can never quite get the paws the right proportions for these things. I think when it comes to Stranger Things, the reason that I like season 1 is that it has pretty much the mystery, and then there's the ambiguity of whether 11 lived at the end. Not that I want 11 to die or anything, it's just the ambiguity was interesting, considering for the most part, if a character is a child, they won't die. It was more interesting that the creators would let it be ambiguous the way they did. But in season 2, I did like learning more about her powers, and I did like seeing her react to meeting her mom. And season 2 had some good stuff in it. Okay. I'm gonna come back to this sketch later, but for now I'm just going to go ahead and add some final details, like highlights in the eyes. And maybe just a little bit on the lips in the case of this one piece. And then after I add these highlights, I'll sign off and I will see you guys next week. You asking for the Dragon OC, is there any way that you can get that request to me in a direct message? I'm on Instagram and DeviantArt and stuff under this same screen name. I'm also on Tumblr. You can probably submit it as an anonymous ask without logging in, or I don't know if you can submit asks without logging in, but my screen name is the same pretty much everywhere that I'm on, so if you can get that to me directly, it'll be easier for me to keep track of the details I'm supposed to add. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Bye!